Water and Shade. It's time for G Auto for episode 5.
If you would like more of this nonsense, if you enjoy watching our Wheel of Wine reactions, or you like watching these Wheel of Wine reactions, come join our Discord server. You can go contribute to our Patreon, or you can check us out on Instagram or any of the fine social media establishments listed below.
So we just got done watching episode 5, part of our live watch party on Discord that we do every week, so you can come and join us on Saturdays. We're now gonna talk about the best moments, the moments that had great G in episode 5. You start.
Let's do a I'm pretty drunk.
Yeah,
I'm pretty drunk. I've been drinking this terrible, it's really gross, guys. I've been drinking this really great wine called Brown.
It's called Brown, and she thought it was
Brown.
gonna taste nice. Seriously.
I thought it would taste nice. It tastes like brown. It's very dry. So. Oh, that's bad. Okay. So, a moment that I thought had great G. I'll go more or less chronologically. Just kidding. I'm gonna go from the end. I really appreciated that there was so much raw male emotion, and I don't even mean that in a sexual way. I just really liked that there was a lot of real emotion of the warders reacting and trying to support each other during a difficult time, and kind of like, oh, I'm a little bit awkward because I don't really know how to deal with you right now. And Lan just like, oh, bud, I understand. And then those interactions really hit home for me. I really appreciated it. And I think there were people who detracted from it because it was so open and so emotional that it was like, this is a bottle episode. There's just, a lot of kind of unspoken. I think if you are less inclined to engage with the more subtle emotional stuff, it is harder to engage with, and there's not a lot of action in this episode.
I heard people complaining
so
that they didn't like the fact that the warders were being too emotional, but and that they should just be okay with the fact that one of their brothers fell. No, that's bullshit. Like, you're okay in the moment when the war is going on. Do not tell me that any soldier has gone in the military has not grieved for one of their fallen soldiers afterwards. Like, you get on with the task, and then when it's done, you sit there and you grieve. And the idea that one grieves for the party is, I know it's not very American, and maybe there's a lot of people that didn't understand that, but it's very normal in other parts of the world.
And you read like Audie Murphy or anybody who's given like a realistic account of war or being in that kind of situation, which warders are very militaristic, let's be real. If you've ever read some of those, they're very emotional, but Americans especially, and just kind of men in general, are socialized to not have those emotions. So I think they're a little frightening to a lot of people. I feel like, I was watching my husband, he was kind of getting a little emotional over it. He's pretty open with his emotions with me, but it was very heart-wrenching, and you could see Lan like kind of dealing with his own thoughts and feelings. There was an unspoken scene where he's like sitting next to Moiraine and like holding her hand, and he looks at her ring and he's like, I really don't want to have to drop this in Mount Doom one day. No. I don't know what it was exactly, but it was Mount Doom.
It was a very Lord of the Rings.
It was Mount Doom.
Yeah,
let's be real.
It was throw the ring into the lava. Yeah, you all got it. And I kind of just wanted Stephen to go Gollum style and just fling himself off the edge after he'd done it. Yeah. I felt like that would have been a really like drastic.
I think the like Harikiri like stabbing him, I think they needed some sort of like, oh shit, he killed himself. Like, I think cinematically they needed to do it that way, but I don't think that's the way that it would have happened.
I think like it would have shown the warder insanity of like the bond breaking a little bit more. If it's like the ring's in, I've done my duty, and now I'm released from my duty, and now I'm flinging myself off. I think it would.
And then just like
a really dramatic moment.
Okay.
My moment of great G, and I have to say I loved this episode. I really loved this episode. This episode felt very, very Wheel of Time to me. But I'm gonna go with Loyal. Like, I just thought he was immaculate. I'm gonna take the visuals out of it. It's a bad wig, it's a bad beard. It's a recurring theme. Loyal is not the only one who has been subjected to a clockable wig in this series. But
check your lace before you come for me.
His mannerisms, honey,
they were so good.
Your name sings in my ears. It was just, he understood the assignment. He understood that character.
He did.
He was perfect in the way he was like talking and hyper focused, and Rand was having to interrupt before he kept
like,
going on.
Okay, I can't handle this anymore, bud. You really gotta chill. I don't care.
I could not stop smiling when he was on screen. I could not stop smiling. And I'm one of those people that thought that Loyal could be a very easily droppable character. I thought, why bother? In the long run, it's an easy character to cut out, and also, you know, because of the visuals, it's a very difficult character to make work. He was great. Hats off.
He was good.
Hats off.
I have to look away from Loyal. So, I mean, that's kind of my toe of this episode. Loyal, when I wasn't looking at him, beautiful, immaculate. His mannerisms, his speech was just perfect. And it was exactly what I pictured Loyal. Looking at him, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like my level of brown turning blonde.
Your hairdresser
and
needs to recommend some purple shampoo, honey.
Yeah.
Honey.
Yeah, you need to get your ass to Sally. So it was so bad, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
I think maybe that's the standpoint they're coming from, and I can understand that. And I understand why they didn't want to use CGI, because CGIs are expensive, and that means less.
CGI looks cheap if it's done cheaply.
It can look crap. It really can.
Hobbit. Hobbit. I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
Hobbit.
Even with the big fucking budgets that Hobbit had, it did not look great.
Yeah. The Lord of the Rings orcs were way better. Anyway, we're talking about Wheel of Time.
But also, the other thing to think about is that if the Wheel of Time is successful, and so far it has been successful,
it's like number one.
The budget goes up.
Right
Loyal can only start looking better. Wigs can only start getting better. I think about Emilia Clarke's wig in season 1 of Game of Thrones versus Emilia Clarke's wig in like season 4, and we're talking very fucking different wigs. We're talking the fact that, you know, clockable wig to, oh wow, this bitch knows her wig. This is like the Roxy Andrews level of wigs right here.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to get to. So, you know, support the show. This is what it is. Love it for what it is at the moment. And it can only go up from here if the budget gets higher. So
I think so. And I think it's been successful enough that they're going to continue.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it was a huge flop. I think it's going to take people a few episodes to get into it. I really think the first episode kind of did us a disservice, because I think a lot of people are going to check out. But the people who are willing to stick through episode 2, 3, 4, 5 are going to be like, this is my show. And once I can get people to get through episode 2, they're like, yes, I'm on board. I am a part of this fandom.
Honey, I saw on Facebook just yesterday, someone I know on Facebook shared that they were watching Wheel of Time, and they said, this show is so fucking good. This is not someone who has read the books. I know this person hasn't read the books.
Nice.
I know they have not, because we would have had many conversations about it in the past. They've never read the books. And they took the time to write that status. So it's starting. It's
coming. It's coming. You're going to watch our show. I mean, I've been talking about this. I've been proselytizing. I've been preaching the word of the Lord Dragon for years and years and years. And nobody's taking me seriously. And now they're finally watching. And I'm like, I fucking told you.
Okay. I mean, you've given your moment of toe. I need to give my moment of toe. It's a tough one. It's a really, really, really tough one to pick. And I'm literally going to just go for the fact that I wish Stefan had just thrown himself off the fucking balcony after throwing the ring in. I just really feel like that's something that it was a missed opportunity, because it would have shown the craziness of a warder.
I wish I would have seen more like berserker behavior from him. Like, I mean, he just ran, he found his woman, he's like, oh no, it's sad, and then it was just funeral. But I think they left out that like bloodlust, that like, I gotta kill fucking everyone,
including myself, and that's why it threw
including myself.
Yeah, I understand they needed to do it, because I think, and I'm looking at Alana here, they were talking about how Alana was going to bond him, which is something that Myrelle did. Myrelle is a character of the Green Ajar who was renowned for easing the trauma of warders.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. She eased the...
She'd save them.
She'd save them.
She's like, hey baby, you come here, you lay in my big green bosom and I'll take care of you.
She was, and
I'm real drunk.
This 100% proves as well that I think Myrelle and Alana are a merged character. It makes Alana a hugely significant character for a number of story arcs if she is merged with Myrelle as well.
Can I add a bonus G?
Yeah.
Because Kate Fleetwood fucking slays, bitch. She absolutely slays, and that is no shade at all.
She is serving cunt.
I love her so much.
Through, and it is perfect. I fucking love her so much. She has been hands down one of my favorite things about this show so far. I just I can't.
The characters you love to hate, those are the ones that are making
and
the
this
best.
Is
Valda, perfect.
They are doing so well. Yeah, my honorary G has to go to Valda. My honorary G has to go to Valda, because he's so in control. He's so calm. He knows what he wants. He's very frightening.
And he is disgusting.
He's not losing his temper. And I think we got a little bit of an answer as to how he's capturing Aes Sedai, how they're not channeling. I think he has a Terran girl, because that, as pathetic as the fireball was, it just faded away.
It didn't even touch him.
It didn't even singe his robes.
Well, and Egwene is smart. She knows it's going to be more effective to free my bruiser of a friend, who is a fucking tank. It's going to be more effective to just use a little weave of fire and pop his bonds than it would be. But I think it was also a misdirection. She knows. She is so smart. And she, you know, we've laid these seeds already when Maureen specifically said, your power isn't what's important, your brain is what's important. Which I also really appreciated.
Egwene was at her best so far in this episode. This whole episode was just a perfect little package. And I know it was a little bit less on the action. It was more dialogue. It was more heavy. But come on, we're Wheel of Time fans, guys. We should be able to revel.
We know what the fucking slog is, guys.
Yeah, we should be able to revel in. This felt like the Wheel of Time for me. This felt like I was in the world for the most so far of any episode. I would go out of my way and say I preferred this episode to episode 4. As good as episode 4 was, as great as it was, and it had these awesome mind-blowing moments, when I was in episode 5, from literally the opening scenes, there were tears in my eyes streaming down. I saw Tar Valon. I was like, oh my god,
I'm home.
What's going on? I couldn't.
You know,
stand
the
it.
only thing I can equate that to is the first time I played Waves of the Wheel, like doing the role plays, and you were like, oh, we swear in Wheel of Time. We talk about diseases in Wheel of Time. We do all this, and you created that, girl. Like, the fact that I have that as my home and it's normal now, that people can say Blood and Ashes and it's not weird.
Yeah.
Like, that's really cool to me. And I felt that during this, that they were talking about breakbone fever. And it was like, that's normal. I know what that is. Or that he's like, oh, Blood and Ashes. Like, it felt so real.
It was like, you know when...
And I don't remember feeling that.
You know...
since when I started.
I had a moment in episode 3 when Lan's tells Nynaeve that she has to like heal Moraine kind of thing, and she's looking for ingredients, and I saw the blue goat's flowers, and she was cutting up those, and I instantly connected to that.
You fucking yellow.
I know, because I'm such a fucking yellow.
I immediately saw Alana's weaves, and I was like, oh, I know that weave. We have that as a secret weave in the Green Aja weave. I'm like, okay.
And see,
I knew that we have different sensibilities.
I knew the flowers because I am a yellow. I knew those. I was like, oh my god, it's blue goat's flowers, and I knew exactly what she was making. I love that. I love that. I saw someone on Facebook say this, and I thought it was really good the way they said this. The wheel keeps turning, and there are multiple third ages, and they're the same, but they're not. There's going to be differences. So think of, you read one turning of the wheel's third age in the book, and now you're watching another. It's the same story, but there's differences because the wheel is weaving the tapestry slightly differently. And I thought, that's great. I love that. That's great.
I'm gonna cry!
I know.
Oh my god.
And that came from Facebook.
So
I know people slag off Facebook all the time, but it was so insightful. And I was like, that's great. I love that.
I love that. And it's not because it is because I'm pretty drunk. I'm pretty drunk. We don't do this show unless we are this many liters into terrible.
This show was created during the COVID pandemic as a socially acceptable way to drink while we were in lockdown. If we're not drunk, we're doing it wrong.
Yes, we need to get drunk and throw up our fans and talk about Wheel of Time and other fantasy nonsense because we have no social skills and we're weird. I think that's a good way to wrap it up. So, if you want more of this bullshit and this nonsense and this garbage, you can get drunk with us every week at 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time or 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, or GMT as the kids say. And you can check us out on TikTok or Instagram or Discord or any of these fine places listed below. And if you're still interested after you've seen all of our garbage, go subscribe to our Patreon because we're great and you can get some interesting special content. So go check it out. And until next time, may you always find water. And I lost my other one. And shade!
I'm bringing the water to wine this week if I have no fan.
And this is the Wheel of Wine. I'm so fucking drunk, bud.